Hey guys, welcome to Survive Together Die Alone, development update number 5. This update's mostly been about game code optimization. I've done a lot of optimization within the code rather than more any visualized sort of representation of the game in of itself. I have worked on the HUD a little bit, but it's still got to go a long way. It still looks quite crap. But anyway, as you're seeing now, this is actually a motel/hotel type little thing I've been working on. This is going to be like the second stage of the sort of prologue. This was about a 4-hour sort of model I made. It's all sort of semi-modulated, it's not textured or doesn't have proper, I think it's UCX collision setup, but it's, I just used like a complex collision for now, just for testing purposes and sort of gameplay. But it's a prototype. So yeah, I've been working on some AI actually. It's not the best AI. It's quite bad actually. They're shooting at me because he saw me, but he's quite stupid. He doesn't function as intended. It's quite laggy because the AI is practically an exact replication of the character, so it's using all the in the code. Basically, it's trying to call all the player statistics, and it's like casting to it, and it realizes, oh wait, not the player, and it just fails it. Which you might see there's like 5,000 errors within like 2-3 seconds of it just running. There's all the errors, like 5,600. But as you can see, it's trying to cast to the player, and it's like, no, you're not the player. It just fails to cast. I've pretty much been doing optimization within the game, and as you can see now, this tracer, this is when it impacts, and all the velocities and trajectory calculations and all that to, calculate when it impacts, what velocity do I get in return. But yeah, I've actually worked on all the physics materials to make them actually simulate real life type physics, but it's not gonna be a perfect simulation. This is actually a new gun I got. TT-33 pistol, Russian pistol. I did a lot better job at this than I did with the AK-47. In like implementing it and setting up the animations and stuff. As you can see, it looks a lot nicer and smoothed out. A little box around the finger, that's just what detects if it's equipped to the player type thing. This is the hospital we're working on. It's nothing too good right now. It's very early stages, as you can see. There's still a long way for it to come before it's actually some proper playable level. As you see, there's no door frames. I need to add those and then add the door frames. You can like walk around, open the doors, and do whatever. It's still all work in progress. There's still a lot to be done. As you can see, the HUD, it's got like some little ammunition, hunger, and thirst type thing. I actually did a lot of optimization on the HUD. Originally, it was set up so that every HUD component, when I was like bloated, full, thirsty, starving, parched, like the statuses, it was actually a separate HUD element, and it would just collapse the other one and set the new one as visible. But now it's all like achieved through text strings, and it's just a little bit more optimized and a lot more. I would like to say professional, but I'm pretty crappy at programming. This is the level, so the player's gonna have to traverse through it and sort of figure the way out. Don't really want to hold the hand, but I will, as objective markers, I will have directions to go. So for example, you're gonna hit something like, I don't know, T on the keyboard. It's gonna show the direction where you need to go. And the meter is sort of like the Call of Duty classic waypoint markers, something along those lines. That's what I want to kind of do, but not a direct replica. I've actually been working quite a bit on the script/campaign. I've got about the first chapter done, which is chapter 0, which is what this level is going to be placed in. There's actually been a hospital sequence right before this, sort of like Walking Dead style type intro. That's what I want to go for, but I don't know how that's going to come along. That's pretty much it. That's a lot of really work done in regards to sort of features within the game. There's a lot more things, like for example, the guns. they don't have that bug anymore when you shoot and then it doesn't detect the gun and it sort of just like plays animation but doesn't emit a projectile. That's fixed. But the thing is, it's still, the animations need a lot of work on still, like, because they're not a animation montage, so you can still glitch out the animation here and there, but for the most part it's quite fail safe. It works pretty well as intended. This thing here with the ammo is the guns actually require ammo now. That was a pretty big pain in the ass to actually I didn't figure it out. I got help from the guy who developed the inventory system. He obviously knows a lot more than I do when it comes to his system, but it's a lot more optimized than most inventory systems out there, but this is quite a nice one. Yeah, so when you shoot, it always takes the bullets from the top. That was actually a feature that was sort of me just being lazy. I was like, oh, I'll just keep that. Really, I could just add the ammo deduction through a loop with each break, I think it was, can't remember. Yeah, it works, it functions as intended. Another thing is when you reload and you unequip the gun, it cancels your animation and cancels the reload, so no ammunition is actually placed in the weapon. As you see, if I shoot, so that's lagging, whatever. Okay, it says light on the bottom right. I hit reload, unequip, equip the gun again, and it's still light. It remembers the weapon as being light from before you actually finish the reload animation. So the ammunition's only added once the animation is complete. So that's what I went for there. And you know, it works, it functions, and that's for the most part. Yeah, it's pretty much it. Most of it's been like code optimization and working on that hotel, as well as getting this gun set up properly, because this was my first single shot weapon that I added, and it conflicted with the old code essentially, and I had to rewrite a whole bunch of it. It was just like, meh, took a long time, and it's slowly getting there. Another thing is, I do want to get the, my goal is to actually try and, okay, I know how to set up the health, so if I get shot, you have to use, you know, bandages or whatever it is to like sort of fix the injury. I was going to do a more complicated system, like if you shot the left arm and you know, you have a chance of hitting a certain artery and then you can bleed to death type thing, and then you have to like bandage it up and pull the bullet out, but I was just like, nah, it's too complex for just one person to make. Like, it is doable. I'm pretty sure I would know how to do it. I've done some like pseudocode to sort of like emulate it in my head, and it would work, but as of now it's just a bit too complex for one person to do. I would like to well, actually, as of now, if you hold R for 2 seconds, it will essentially unload the weapon, but there's sort of a glitch where it sort of adds ammunition to any ammo that's on the field. So if like there's an ammo box like 5 meters away from the player, you hold R, it'll take all the ammo like from the gun, set that to 0, but then it will add all that ammunition to like the box 5 meters away, and it's just like, can't be stuff trying to figure that out. I have to try and, I don't know, I'll figure it out eventually, but I do want to get a playable demo with the next couple months, hopefully by the end of this year. The first scene will be done as well, because I've pretty much got all the base mechanics achieved. I just need to start working on the AI. I'm thinking I don't want to do zombies because that's just too oversaturated. But if you get zombies right, it can be a good game, sort of like Dying Light. You know, there's a difference between an open world zombie survival game. That's very generalizing. Because if you think about it, Dying Light and DayZ are 2 completely different games, but they're both classified as open world, you know, survival zombie type horror game, whatever. It's just the mechanics really, and how you develop the AI and how intuitive you are. Because Dying Light had that parkour mechanic, and the zombies, you know, there's hordes of them, and they had good physics. They reacted like pretty well with the weapons. But see, the thing is, trying to program a human. I've only just started doing AI, like artificial intelligence, and dude, it's not that easy. It's pretty challenging. well, it just doesn't work half the time. Because you think something would work, you implement it, and then I'm still new to it, so it's too early to like say I can't do it. But if possible, I would like to maybe try and outsource a AI programmer. I don't know. But yeah, I do want to get that first level done, as well as the hospital scene and the scene before that, which is sort of the build up towards what the state the character's actually in before everything goes down. I don't want to do zombies though. I want to do something more sort of stalker like. But yet again, you have to get the creatures right to make them feel scary. I don't know, it's still too early, I feel like, or it's actually not early enough. I don't know, it's still all coming together. The script hasn't actually got to the stage where it includes any enemies yet, like the scenarios. But yeah, I do want to program human AI because I want that to be the first encounter before the player actually encounters, the horror type, anomaly, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, it's still a bit early. I've got all the mechanics done pretty much. I just need to add, I just need to add health and liquid and food consumables, but that's pretty much the same as ammo, so it should be, I'm hoping, rather easy to do. Once I've done those three things, I've literally got everything set, and then I just need to make an objective type system, and that's it. But then yet again, still thinking I need to make save states or like save games, and I've never done a save game and like save the variables, so I don't know how difficult that would be. I'm thinking there's going to be about 12 chapters, and in each chapter the player is going to be sent back to, or like finish up at the the main sort of FOB, forward operating type base thing, and that's going to be the player I don't know, where they can restock and re-equip everything from what they've gathered over time. I don't know, it's still a bit early, but anyway. Thanks for watching. So I'll have to get Development Update 5, and hopefully the next one has a lot more content that's actually noticeable, and sort of like, rather than not just code, it's more or less actual physical things that you can see, and it's like just more stuff, essentially. Anyway, cheers for watching, and bye.